Hello, my name is Daniel Daly, and welcome to the Basketball Soapbox. In this one, I'll be going over NBA preview, looking at questions I have for each team in the league. And we're going to be starting with the Eastern Conference. When you think about the Eastern Conference, you think about last year's champions, the Boston Celtics. Now, looking at the Boston Celtics, they brought everybody back, extended Drew Holiday, extended Derek White, made Jason Tatum the highest paid player after last season, making Jaylen Brown the highest paid player last season, and basically running it back. And that's usually what a lot of championship teams do that are in the mix, and that can afford to do that. Even with the sale of the Boston Celtics, it looks like it's the perfect time for them, right? Coming off of Banner 18, the Wick Grossbeck family looking to cash out off the NBA champions. But with that, we got to look at this upcoming season, and looking at the Boston Celtics with the Kristaps Porzingis injury. The question I have for the Boston Celtics is, how long can they rely on Al Horford? Now, Al Horford is 38 years old. Hopefully by next season, as a Celtics fan, he'll be 39, hopefully be in the NBA Finals again. But how long can the Celtics rely on Al Horford? He's 38 years old, played over 1,000 games, consummate professional, one of the best low post defenders in the league during his time, especially with the Celtics. And just looking at his age, looking at the Celtics front court, they brought in Xavier Tillman, who I liked really last year. His years with the Memphis Grizzlies, I really liked what he brought to the table with that team. He's only 25 years old. You got Neemias Queta, who I think can play a big part in that role there as the center for the Boston Celtics, rebounding and stuff like that. And looking at Luke Kornet, who is the most reliable source for the Boston Celtics at that position. Now, looking at Luke Kornet, the Celtics were 7-0 with him as a starter last season. I know it was against the drudges of the NBA, the lower level teams of the NBA, where Al was taking a night off or Kristaps Porzingis was hurt. Whatever the case, he was 7-0 in those games, and I believe averaged 11-9 as a starter, almost a double-double. So take it for what it is. But that was my biggest concern in the offseason, was looking at the Boston Celtics and seeing what was going to happen with that front court, especially with Porzingis, if he was going to be in and out. And now we know that he has surgery and stuff like that. And he won't be back until, they're saying, December, January, roughly that area. And so that's a full 2 months without Kristaps Porzingis, the guy who fell into the Celtics' hearts last year, and especially with that finals performance against the Dallas Mavericks. So you're looking at this team, and that's the only area of concern that I have for this team, is how is that front court going to hold up, especially with Al Horford at 38 years old. And now we've been able to rely on Al Horford. He's been efficient shooting. He's been doing his best work from that spot. Really good pick and pop shooter. And looking at it from that standpoint, there were just some nights last year where Al didn't have it. And at 38 years old, those minutes picking up, they're trying to lower his minutes. Still going to be effective. But I just think long term, how viable is that an option? At worst case, if he goes down as well. And you got Luke Kornet, Neemias Queta, Xavier Tillman. And just thinking about that, that's the only real question I have for the Boston Celtics. At every other position, we're seeing Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard pick it up. I think they're going to be more viable options this season as the season goes on. You still have Derek White. Drew Holiday looks better than ever. Yeah, that was only the real question I have for the Boston Celtics. I really think that they're going to have a really good season, especially if they can get Porzingis back in and play, 50 games it looks like. At that point, it'll be nice to see him play 50 games. But if he's going to be out for an extended period of time, how long can the Celtics rely on Al Horford? Now, 2 months is not very long, but we know the injury history with Kristaps Porzingis. How is Al Horford going to fill that void? And maybe it's just going to be how they did it last year. Maybe a little bit more mix of Luke Kornet, who looks good in the preseason. A mix of those other guys of Queta and Xavier Tillman, but it's going to be interesting to see. But that's the only question I have for the Boston Celtics. If you like what you see with this video, continue to like, comment, and subscribe. And the next team that will be in my preview will be the Brooklyn Nets.